It's Silva and welcome back to the channel. Today's video I'm going to be going over a topic that's very near and dear to my heart and something I just absolutely love, and that is, should you go backpacking or hiking solo? Now, I do often hike with Matt, my husband, and my daughter, and I hiked with my friends, and I do enjoy that a lot as well. But I also really enjoy being on my own out in nature. And so I thought today I would go over some of the comments and reasons that I've been told you shouldn't. Some of the things I've read about that people say why you shouldn't be out there by yourself. Some things that I believe are benefits of hiking and backpacking solo. And some of the precautions you should take if you do plan to have some solo adventures. So let's get into it. Some reasons people have said to me or asked me or wondered about, and some things I've read include, isn't it dangerous to be out there by yourself? What if you encounter a bear or other wildlife and you're all alone? How would you be able to handle that situation? What if you get lost or stranded? What if you get injured? What if you encounter really bad weather and you're all by yourself and now you have to deal with it all on your own? Women should especially never go alone because they might get attacked out there on trail. The likelihood of being attacked while on trail is a much smaller percentage than even going out to your grocery store, and the chances of getting attacked in the parking lot at night or during the day. There's lots of statistics out there, and I didn't want to get into the very specific statistics because statistics are kind of difficult sometimes with percentages and this specific scenario opposed to that specific scenario. But I can assure you, you are far more likely to be attacked if you are out at your local Walmart or the grocery store or walking down your own street than you are if you're out on the trail all by yourself. I'm sure there have been many other reasons you've heard why you shouldn't hike solo, but I also want to talk about some of the benefits of solo hiking and backpacking. There's so many benefits to being out there solo. Here are some of the top ones that I have. Being able to hike your own hike, which would for me means going at my own pace, whether that's as fast as I want or as slow as I want. Taking as many breaks as I want. Whenever I want a break, I can sit and take one. Being able to pitch my tent wherever I want and not have to either try and catch up to the people hiking ahead of me or wait for the people that are hiking behind me. If I find a spot and I'm ready to set up camp for the night, then I can set up camp for the night. And I don't have to take anybody else's plan into consideration. It's easier to spot wildlife when you're out there by yourself because you're far less likely to be talking and making noise, and there'll be more wildlife to see. The peacefulness of your surroundings when you're out there all by yourself and you're just out there with nature and your own thoughts and being able to just take it all in, all the smells and the sounds and the sights, just being out there surrounded by all of the beauty of nature. The feeling of confidence and accomplishment when you get to the top of a high peak and you've done it all by yourself and you're able to stand up there all by yourself with no one else up there and just take in the magnificent views and the beauty that surrounds you. It's just such an amazing feeling to be up there and know that you did it all by yourself. After you've accomplished your first hike alone and then your backpacking trip alone and being out there for a couple days and then weeks, you're able to take those life lessons, those accomplishments, that feeling of confidence back into your off-trail life and have much more confidence in your everyday life. Knowing that if you can make it through those tough times on trail or the bad weather and navigating yourself and being able to take care of yourself on trail like that, then when you get back into town, of course you're able to take care of yourself and just having the confidence to take on those everyday struggles. Now, you do have to be your own motivator. When you're feeling tired, you do have to be the one to keep pushing yourself to keep going. Or when you don't want to get out of bed in the morning, you have to make yourself get out of bed all on your own. So there are some things that you have to do that you can't rely on others about. It can be more expensive to have your own room in the hostel or pay for a hotel room if you need to go into town because it's just you and you don't have anybody to split the cost with. So not only do you have to know when to push yourself and motivate yourself, you also have to know when to take a break and take a 0 day, which is something I had to learn in my Appalachian Trail journey in 2021 was I waited too long to take those 0 days because I just kept pushing myself. So you do have to learn that balance of pushing yourself and taking a break. And it can get lonely out there sometimes, but there are usually so many other people out there that you get to know and chat with, and you can certainly, call home and touch base. So there certainly are a few drawbacks of being out there by yourself, but I do believe there are more benefits than drawbacks. Now, even though I believe 100% that the benefits outweigh the risks and any drawbacks that there might be, there certainly are precautions you should take if you're taking on a solo adventure. People do get into trouble when they are going out there solo when they don't take precautions. So it doesn't take a lot of work to take some of these precautions to help keep yourself safe. Number one would be always tell someone where you're going, what trailhead you're using, when you're leaving and when you think you'll be back. That way, if for some reason you were to get lost, somebody knows how long you've been gone and where you set out. If you change your plans, because that has happened to me and Matt before, we've got to a trailhead and maybe it's closed or it's flooded out. There's a reason why we have to change our plans, or that I've had to change my plans when I'm out there by myself. And so just sending someone a quick message with your updated plans. That way they know exactly where you should be hiking. I've listened to so many podcasts lately and read so many stories, and if rescuers know where to start looking, it can save your life. It's really important that someone knows where you are. Check the weather to the area where you'll be going, not just the area where you live, but if you're driving several hours to somewhere else to hike, then you want to check the weather at that location. Not just at the base of the mountain, but you also want to know what to expect from the weather at the summit. A few years ago, me and Matt hiked Mount Liberty, and at the bottom, I'll put pictures here, at the bottom was a beautiful fall day with the leaves, and it was just beautiful. By the time we got 3/4 of the way up the mountain, the snow was getting ankle deep, and by the time we got to the top, it was a little whiteout. The weather was so terrible, and we knew that going in. Thankfully, we were prepared for that. But if we had not been prepared for that, it really could have led to disaster, as you can see by the pictures. Speaking of being prepared, you will want to make sure you have the correct gear for the correct weather and climate that you're hiking, whether it's winter or summer. You want to have, whether it's sunscreen because it's summertime or extra clothing and layers because it's winter time. So that's why checking the weather is so important, so that you can pack the correct gear. I believe if you're hiking solo or alone, especially if it's in remote areas, you should have some sort of GPS navigation device, or at least a spot device, so that if you were to get in trouble, you can, hit the emergency button and get rescue notified of your current situation. I did recently do a video on my Garmin InReach, which I'll link here if you're interested, and it goes over all the details of my Garmin and the different plans you can purchase to go with that. There are other alternatives to that, so you certainly do your research if that's something you're interested in. If you want more details on hiking alone, I did a video a few years ago that I'll link here on how I started solo hiking. If you want more details about solo backpacking and, going out for one night or multiple nights or weeks, I did do a video a couple years ago on how I started solo backpacking, which I'll link here. I go over the details on how I started out and, what felt safe for me. And that may help you if you're looking to do some solo adventures. So to answer the question, should you hike or backpack alone? Absolutely. If that is something you're interested in, then it is totally worth putting in the time and energy and resources to figure out how to do that safely, how to do it so you feel confident, and how to get out there alone and have a wonderful time. I hope this video helps if that's something you're interested in. Thanks so much for following along. I'll be doing more videos on my gear and some different food and other things, and some hikes I'll be doing before I hit the trail again at the beginning of April. Hope you're all having a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video.